Sanjay, good evening. So nice to have you with us. Please introduce yourself to the BIS Connect parents.
Hey, hi Bindu. So, first of all, thanks for the opportunity. I am a grade 7 and a grade 11 parent, and we have been with BIS since 2012. I work for a software MNC in Bangalore. I've been with the same company for last 20 years. So either I am really lazy or really loyal. You can decide. I was also part of the interim board interim board in March, and I'm now back as AGM candidate because I felt that in those 2 weeks we could not complete what was asked of us. So some unfinished business is there, and that's why I'm here now.
Lovely. Tell us a little bit more about this small little company that you've been working for the last 20 years.
Not a small little company.
I was just joking.
It's a really large company. It was started in 1915. We completed our 100 years in 2012, 2013 something. It's one of the most ethical software MNCs. I'm not naming it, but you can.
Sure.
It's a 3-letter company, and one of the most ethical.
It's the world's largest something computer company.
Yeah.
Yes. Okay.
Largest computer company, largest services company, largest research division, one of the largest software company, and I work for this software MNC in a technical track. So basically, I take care of all technical technology roadmap, data and AI applications in one of the large 4 industries. So I am CTO for that industry.
Wonderful. Tell us a little bit about your childhood.
My roots are in Bihar. My parents were from Bihar, but I was born and brought up in Bengal, in West Bengal, a very small industrial town called Durgapur. It's famous for its heavy industries, townships. We lived in a township, large roads, large playgrounds. I studied from Kendriya Vidyalaya, and our Kendriya Vidyalaya was in a paramilitary campus. So amazing facilities. Even for 1980s, we had amazing facilities. From that point of view, really blessed childhood. We had a very nice, relaxed childhood, and with lot of good value system, a lot of good foundations like hard work, integrity, all that, a very strong sense of fairness, compassion. All that I think has come from my time in Durgapur. That's the childhood. And I did undergrad from Jharkhand. I worked in Jharkhand. My earlier career was in Jharkhand. Then I did my MBA from Gujarat. Then I went to US. I stayed in Texas, California, Massachusetts. Then I came to Bangalore, and I've been in Bangalore since then. So I think of myself as a global Indian who has spent almost half of his life in Bangalore. So more Bangalorean.
You've mentioned what you do a little bit, but what do you do professionally, and what inspired you to pursue your current profession?
I have not had a very linear career in a sense that I started doing one thing and I continued doing one thing. So long back in 1990s, I started my career. I was a mining engineer. I used to work in mines, iron and coal mines.
Okay.
Yes, and that's where I started my career. And after some time, there was some inspiration. I said I would like to do MBA. So I did MBA. After MBA, I went to US and I became a supply chain consultant. And then I came to Bangalore. I was in consulting management track. Then I wanted to get into technical. I thought I'll do better in technical. My passion is in technical. And I did PhD. I became data scientist, and from there I became a CTO responsible for technology roadmap. So if you see, like, my motto always has been continuous learning and following the heart. And one of my mentors told me, like around 10 or 15 years in my career, I was deciding on my PhD. So I asked the person that I've already spent 15 years in job. Shall I do PhD and change my track? And he told me that don't worry about the 15 years which you have spent in your career till now. Worry about the other 20 to 30 years you are going to spend, and how you make that more enjoyable. Think about that. So that has been my mantra: flow. Like and if I like to do something, if I have opportunity to learn, change, I do change.
Wonderful. That's really good advice. Don't focus on the previous couple of years of your life, but the next lot and how you want to empower yourself for that. That's really good advice. What drives you through the tough times, Sanjay?
So I may sound a bit cliche here, but it's absolute truth for me. So there is a book, 7 Habits of Highly Effective People by Stephen Covey.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I read that, like one of my seniors gave me that book in sometime in 2008, and what that book told me, and I've been following that book every single day from 2008 till now. So last 15 years, every single day. Like so what that book tells me is that think about what is the big picture, what's the important things in your life, and think about what are the immediate things in your life, what are the urgent things about, and then prioritize your activities around that importance and urgent thing, and focus only on the things which are important and urgent or important, and do not focus so much on things which are like just wasting your time. So every time I have got a tough time in my life, I have gone back to that, a sense of purpose. Don't get bogged in by so many activities, so many obstacles, so many setbacks. Think about what is the big picture I am working towards. What are the 3 things I have to do? It might be a course I have to take. It might be that I have to go and talk to someone, and just focus on those things and do one thing at a day. Every day you do one or two things. What we will find that in a year, we have done that activity 365 times. And that becomes a very significant progress in your life.
Correct.
In fact, the PhD I did PhD part-time. And I took only 2-3 months leave for just for the coursework. And this is how I completed my PhD also. Do one thing at a day, every day do one small thing. And by end of the year, you'll realize that you have a paper ready, which can be then sent for publication.
This is good advice. I'm going to take it and do something about it. So this is very good advice. Now, moving on to a question I like quite a bit. If moods choose music, what mood drives your music choices?
Yeah. So a really good question. And if you ask my daughter, especially the grade 11 IB daughter who has also done music till grade 10, I think what she will say that this guy has no consistency in the music, because one day I might be very relaxed and I'll be enjoying something like Sinatra, or I'll be very energetic. I feel very energetic, and I'll be playing like something like say Door or even Iron Maiden, and while I am doing my work. But on other days, when she wakes up, she will find me playing a Krishna Das bhajan or A Giri Nandini or Shivoham, some very, very religious or a spiritual thing. Or another day, some 70s, 80s, I love all those 70s, 80s Bollywood music, especially Geeta Dutt, Lata Mangeshkar, Kishore Kumar. I like to play. So I don't have a consistency as such, but it depends on the mood. Like if I'm relaxed, I feel very relaxed, I go with a slow music, a nice music. If I'm feeling energetic, I'll play something which is very fast. And I think with age, I'm also becoming more spiritual, more religious, and sometimes I find that peace of mind in in some of these bhajans, especially like a couple of years back. I had a I had a I had a big personal tragedy. I lost my father.
Oh,
At
that's
that time, I saw that I found that playing that music, that those bhajans, those
mm.
slokas, that used to give me a lot of strength.
Mm.
So depends. And after that, I've been I've been addicted to like everything almost, like so a big spectrum of music. I'm not one genre
Nice to
type
hear that.
person. I don't play or sing myself.
Mm.
My grade 11 daughter, she has taken over herself to teach me violin. She plays violin at, I think, grade 6, grade 7 level now,
Wow.
grade 7 Trinity level. So
Wow.
now she has taken over because she is telling me that I need to learn an equipment
Hmm.
to ensure that, I stay sane and healthy even in my even in my senior years. So we will see, like, if by next year this time, if I can play some small tunes on violin or not.
Ah, first and foremost, so sorry for your loss. That must have been really hard.
Oh
About
yeah.
your dad. So sorry about that. But yeah, I think one way, like you said, right? Certain types of music is nostalgic and reminds you of him, and certain other types of music do all kinds of stuff. Um, it's strange that you say this because I'm like this too. You can literally figure out by the amount of music or the volume of the music I'm playing to figure out what mood I'm in, which is why I said this is one of my favorite questions because I think moods do, for many people, music and moods go hand in hand. And I think you must take your daughter's advice and become a violin master in the next few in the next few months. Um,
Yeah, yeah.
moving
See,
on.
one good thing
Sorry.
you have told me, and I realized it now, like after you told me that sometimes this music probably more for the mood, is to remind a memory in your life.
Yes.
So certain kind of music, like some of this music, most of my this like Doors, Iron Maiden,
Mm.
like those classic rock, heavy metal, those musics, I used to hear to those musics with my friends in my undergraduate
College.
and graduate days.
Right.
So every time I hear it somewhere, I am reliving those days, those carefree days in the hostel.
Absolutely.
Uh, so,
Absolutely.
that's a really good insight.
Yeah, I think I said it because there are certain, it's funny that there are certain songs that happen at certain spots. And when every time it comes on, I remember those occasions. I remember there was one in school where we had these requests at a fete that was going on. And a couple of songs were being requested. You had to go and pay some money and request for the song to be played. So a couple of those songs, every time they play, I remember it literally takes me back to that day
Yeah,
on our school field. So yeah, when you say it takes you back to college, I know
yeah,
exactly what you mean. Interesting, isn't it? What something as silly as music or as insignificant as music can mean to us in terms of memories. Moving on now, what do you think is unique about the cultural fabric of Bangalore?
Oh, I love Bangalore. Uh, like as I said, I was spent like almost half of my life here now.
Mm-hmm.
The best thing I like about Bangalore is that I see here people have people have a balance. There are a lot of people, like almost everyone you talk,
Mm.
they are trying to wait. They are trying to do something progressive. Like I'll start a new business. I'll create a new technology. You go and meet someone, like either he's a startup entrepreneur, or he's like creating a new technology, or he's trying to raise funds for his new business. So a lot of this activity around progress. But at the same time, I think Bangaloreans are also quite laid back. Like Bangaloreans are also like not someone who is too much materialistic, as I have seen in some of the other other cities. This like very nice balance between the need to move forward and and the need to stay still and take in the scenery, smell the roses.
Very nice.
I find Bangaloreans doing that, and for that thing, I really like Bangalore. And I won't name some of the cities, but in some cities I've seen people are too laid back. The moving forward is not there. In some cities, people are moving forward, but that they are not smelling the roses. I think we are doing both.
Yeah, I like that. Considering I'm a Bangalorean, I feel very good about that balanced business. Now, I've never thought of it like the way you've just put it, and I think you've put it very well, but it's true. I think most people will not just be happy that they're working from, say, 9 to 9. There is a sense that,
Yeah.
you're not spending enough time with your family, that you're not doing enough extracurricular stuff, you're not enjoying life. On the other hand, I think we're not happy just doing nothing, being lazy, even after retirement. So you're right. I mean, that balance it's very interesting the way you've put it about, smelling the roses and being progressive at the same time. Very, very interesting.
Yeah.
If you had to have a conversation with any historical figure, who would it be and why?
Oh man, this is slightly difficult because there are so many historical figures. I'll give the answer in two passes. One is like historical anywhere in the world. There is one guy I'm really enamored with. I don't think world has seen a guy like him, and that guy is Leonardo da Vinci. This guy was a painter, was an engineer, was an architect, was a scientist, was a theorist, was a sculptor. I think I'm even unable to imagine how this guy, a guy with that kind of multifaceted personality, how did he think, how did he talk, and what did he say? So Da Vinci is an enigma for me,
And he was
and I
good at
like.
all of it, wasn't he? He was good
It
at
was
all
all
of
of
it.
it.
Yeah, that was
I mean,
surprisingly I mean, that is shocking.
yeah. Like right from the he was the true liberal arts topper. So so he did everything.
Yeah.
So he did everything. So that's Da Vinci. Closer home, if I come, or then I'll probably talk to lot of these historical figures who have seen both success and pains. And I can and some have seen the struggle first, and then they have seen the success. Some have seen the success first, then they have seen the struggle. And talking to them, understanding their their viewpoint after they have seen both success and a struggle in any order will be useful. So one figure is Ambedkar. Ambedkar, the struggle I hear about is huge struggle, and then he saw success. Another figure on a slightly not lighter side, but coming from Bollywood with my Bollywood love, are people like Madhubala and Guru Dutt. Saw a lot of success, but saw a lot of pain. People when they think about Madhubala, they think about Guru Dutt, they only see that lady on that silver screen. But when you read about those people, they had a lot of pain which they carried inside. How they of course Guru Dutt could not handle with that pain, but how did that pain came, what happened, what were and after success, when you get that kind of pain, how do you handle it or not handle it? Just talking and sitting on a seaside with those people and just talking a general chat, I think will be very, 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 very illuminating.
Yeah, I think inspirational, especially when people have gone through a lot initially and then have managed to make the second half of their lives really very successful.
Measurable.
Yeah, so that is
Or the other
quite
way
amazing.
around. Ambedkar is the other way around.
Yes,
Struggle, then success.
correct.
Madhubala, success, then a struggle.
Yeah, that I find very sad because it didn't end very well, and considering that tragedy is always they're quite hard. It's hard also to see people go through from success to ignominy towards the end of their lives. That's really hard. But the inspirational one, like for me personally, would be to see someone who's had a really tough life and then,
Yeah.
at the second half made it really well. Perhaps because I'm in the second half of life, I want to read more of the successful ones. Otherwise, the other ones would be very depressing.
Yeah.
What have you learned from success and what have you learned from failure?
It may sound cliche, but it's coming from my heart. And before I say this, I should also say this. I am almost I have 30, 40 years, almost 30 years of experience, work experience. So a lot of it is rooted into those 30 years and like 20 years before that. So, and the first thing I have seen about success, like I had a lot of success and failure. First thing which I have learned is that this too shall pass. That's every time you get success, something will happen, and then it will change.
Yes.
And every time you get failure, then also it will change. The situation will change. The key thing is that, which I said in the tough time, 7 habits, and that's not only for tough time, that's also for the good times, is to stay focused on the next step. What needs to be done? Okay, I have I won this election. Now probably of course there will be some time to rejoice, but it's more about now what next needs to be done.
Correct.
What is the responsibility has come? How do I do that? Or okay, I got this, for example, I got this court injunction and I'm now out of the office. I've been pushed out of the office for temporarily. Then also you can feel unhappy, etc. But if you ask people around me, they will say that in almost 4 to 5 minutes, I'll be back to normal and I'll be thinking about what next to be done. Shall I go and talk to the lawyer? Shall I go and do these things, etc., etc. And second thing, which is slightly bit deep, and sorry about me being slightly philosophical here.
Please be. This is your show, so you can be whatever you want to be on it.
Yeah. I think that in hindsight, we may find that what we are defining as success or what we are defining as a failure is itself faulty. There is a saying that please be very careful about what you wish because you might be granted that wish. So you may think that this is successful. The promotion was successful. The on-site posting was successful. But once you get that promotion, you will find that you do not have time to spend that with family, or the work pressure is so much that you are unable to cope with that. You got probably X percentage of more money and more power, and you felt good about it for 2 to 3 months, but then you find that it's not something which you really wanted. Same thing on the failure. There have been cases is that there is a big role which is coming, and I don't get that role, and I'll think that this was a failure. But then after in the hindsight, you will find that it's good that you did not get that role or it did not happen because something else happened.
Correct.
And that something else was better for you. So this is a bit philosophical, but as long as we realize that the success and failure are not very definitive, and what you are taking as a success and failure now you will not take that as a success or failure 2, 3, 5 years from now. If you allow for that possibility, you will not get too much impacted by either success or failure. You will just take it as a journey. The whole thing is a journey. It's we are in a journey. All of us we are in a journey. We have to do some effort. It's not a milestone. If I reach that place, I am successful. If I do not reach that place, I am failure. We are in a continuous journey. And as long as we are doing our best, we are at in fact, I told someone also, on every day I wake up, if I am doing what I feel is the right thing and what is my best effort, I am leading a successful life.
Agree.
So I try to define my success and failure like that, and I think that has helped me cope a lot. I had a lot of this success failure anxiety say 10-15 years back, but all this it helps me cope a lot.
That's a very good insight. The fact that I like what you said about, in hindsight, you may not actually consider success the success that you thought it was, or the failure, the disaster that you thought it was. Sometimes
Yeah.
maybe that failure actually led to perhaps even a much better set of opportunities, which at first blush might have seemed like the end of the world, then just becomes actually just a stepping stone in the long journey of life. So very, very interesting. That's a very interesting insight. What about BIS is inspirational?
So I'll tell you, like 2012, when we were looking for a school for my kids, older one at that time, younger one was 2, and we went around looking for a school. As soon as I entered BIS, I was almost like sure in my heart that this is the place I want my kid to be, because the whole like when you come to BIS, you find kids so relaxed, the smiling face, and there is this vibe, like the whole school is in a very peaceful, relaxed, fun. Like there is no like it's that positive vibe, like that I found inspirational, along with the inclusivity of the BIS.
Yes.
Because BIS I have found very, very inclusive school, like in the programs it does, it everything does, and that I really find, like so inclusivity, and this concept of making kids very relaxed, and very relaxed at the same time, like lot of activities. So these are the things which had really attracted me towards BIS.
Yeah, I have to agree. It is a place where there are kids who are constantly laughing in the corridors. I think laughter is something that you hear a lot when you walk in to meet a teacher or a principal or PTMs. There's some kid who's walking past laughing or teasing. It's such a nice vibe, like you just said.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That vibe, it's very difficult to define it, but
Mm,
that vibe about BIS is inspirational.
it is. It is. What life-changing event in the past has shaped you today?
So I'll talk about a very small thing. So there is this concept called butterfly effect, if you have heard about that.
Yes.
This butterfly effect says that there can be a very small event, but which leads to a very large significant consequence. So I don't think I had a very huge event in my life, but I had a very small event, and that a small event was that when I was working in mines, I had bronchial asthma, bronchitis.
Okay.
So at that time I had some breathing issues, and then I said that doctor, like he jokingly told me, either you have to get the bronchitis rectified or you have to leave mines, because you cannot work in mines with a bronchitis. And I said, okay, I will leave mine. And that was one of the very small event, a small inspiration. Bronchitis was there only for 3-4 months, not more than that. But that's where I got my inspiration to do something more. And then I appeared for I appeared for CAT, got into IIM Ahmedabad, worked in US. Then I have traveled to almost all parts of the world. I was counting last time. I have traveled to around 25 countries till now.
Wow.
And now I'm also a BIS parent. So this bronchitis, which is a small event, which was there for 3-4 months, has been the butterfly effect in my life.
Completely pivotal, completely shaped your life. What is the one thing about you that most people don't know, but you wish they did?
So one thing I'll say, like, okay, I don't know if my wife will agree with it or not, but most of my people, including my friend, my family, they see me as this very logical guy, very like I'm a data scientist, I'm an engineer, and like even in MBA, I do like the analytical part of MBA, operations management, supply chain management, and not the more abstract part like marketing or strategy.
Wow. Okay.
So they always look at me as this logical guy who was always using logical and not the feelings. Uh, like if my kid comes to ask me something, I will always like, do you need it? Or like whether she wants it or not is not so much important on how she is feeling about it. That's my wife's department. But I use logic to decide whether I need to grant that object to her or not. So people think that I am very, very logical, but I also feel that I am very, very emotional guy. So sometimes like I can cry during movies. I can cry reading books.
Nice.
Sometimes if I read a bad news, like where like there's some gross injustice has happened, someone threw acid on something,
Oh gosh.
or it's like etc. And like just reading the news, I get very angry or very upset. So like that part of it, I think most of my friends and families will not associate with me, but I know there is that emotional guy somewhere inside me which comes out at times.
Nice one. Really nice one. Please tell your friends and family to watch this video at this particular point, and then they'll all be very well informed by the end of it.
They might leave a negative comment saying that this guy is lying. So
Which is true. All right. What are your thoughts? So this is a serious one. What are your thoughts on the concept of women seeking permission, whether in their personal or their professional contexts? Please explain.
So I think there is no role of gender in seeking permission. So there are roles, like there are situations, whether it's a woman or male, they might have to seek permission. Like say you are a pilot and you have to nuke that enemy city. So before nuking, whether you are a women pilot or you are a male pilot, you will have to go to your command and seek the permission. Can I drop this bomb or not? But that is a gender neutral permission.
And professional.
Or say,
it's professional. In a professional life.
That is dependent on their performance. Or if you are a teenager, whether you are a son or daughter, and you want to stay beyond curfew hours. I have only 2 daughters, so if they have to stay beyond curfew hours, they have to ask me or their mother that whether they can stay beyond curfew hours or they want to do a sleepover. So there is a permission element, but that permission element is, in my opinion, is that it's again like gender neutral, whether you are a teenage son. Because when I was growing up, if I had to stay beyond curfew hours, I had to ask my mom or my dad, like I will come late today. And if my daughter has to stay beyond curfew hours, she has to ask her mom or me that I will stay late or I will come late. But there is no gender role in this. So in some cases, people may have to ask permission because of the profession or because of the situation you are in someone's guardianship. But a situation where a permission is to be taken only by women and not by men is not correct. And that, in my opinion, which comes under injustice and unfair practice.
Fantastic.
So,
yeah, fantastic. Because that's where the question was headed. Not about children or not about role-based permission seeking, but really because of the fact that you're a woman and that you're expected to seek permission for everything, for living, for breathing, for getting a job, getting married, having kids, not having kids, working, not working, how long you work, where you work, why you work, for all of these things. So from that perspective, I think you put it very well, that there's no question of seeking permission in those kinds of spaces.
And on a lighter side, I could not have said anything else because I live with 4 women in my life, in my home, my mom, my wife, and 2 daughters.
Yeah, so you don't have a choice. You're a serious minority in your own house.
Serious minority.
Yeah, okay. What is the
diversity?
Yeah, there's no diversity. It's okay. What is the best piece of advice that you've ever received, and how has it influenced you, apart from the doctor saying bronchitis or another career? Anything else?
It was around beginning of my career in IBM, one of my managers. So I was complaining about that. Like he told me that this thing was not done, and I was complaining about that someone did not do this, or someone did not do this, or client has to do something they did not do. And he told me that, Sanjay, if you think about it, you will something has not been done properly or something has gone wrong. You will always find 10 things which others should have done and they have not done. But please focus on one thing that you did not do, or one thing you could have done better. If you focus on that one thing, then you are improving. Otherwise you are ranting. And this is something which I have taken to heart, and for last so many years, every time I feel like finger pointing, I feel like blaming someone for something something not gone right. I always try to think that what is the one thing which I should have done? Maybe talking to that guy, maybe calling that person, maybe doing the review myself before sending it to the client, whatever. But what is the one thing I should have done and I did not do, and how can I do it better in future? And this is something which I think has kind of really helped me a lot, because every time there is this setbacks, it's again, like if you see, there is a theme again which is coming from other. Every time I have a setback, I'm not I go back to this advice. I stay away from finger pointing, blaming, and I try to think about what is one thing I could have done better, and can I do it now, or how can I do it in future?
That's deep. That gives you, I think, also makes you less miserable, because you're not trying to constantly blame other people, but you're just looking inward and trying to find ways of bettering the situation. Interesting. Is there a particular book or movie that had a significant impact on your life?
One movie.
Which one?
One movie changed my life. 3 Idiots. In fact, that can be said another movie, which another life-changing event. Watching that movie. So 3 Idiots came, I think, around 2008, 2009. At that time, 2007, 2008, that time it came. I watched it. At that time, I was in a very safe place in my company. I was in a consultant and management track. I was hobnobbing with all the who's who of the company. I was preparing reports. I was doing governance, etc., etc. But somewhere I was not very happy. I was not feeling very passionate about my work. And after watching 3 Idiots, it's quite interesting. Like I kept thinking about it, that that message of do what you're passionate about, and that's when, even after being coming from an MBA track, I decided to change my track. I did a part-time PhD. I became in fact, I took a small backward jump in my career from a management. I became a developer for some time. I became data scientist. But what I found, that by doing that, now I am doing the work which I really like. Which I really like. Thinking about technology, coding. I did coding for a long time. Thinking about technology, creating technology roadmaps, creating solutions, and so basically, once you start doing things which is your passion, then the work does not remain work.
Yeah, it doesn't. I think some point said, if you love the work that you do, you don't work a day in your life. So I think if you can find your passion, then you actually help yourself have a better life. And if you can make money out of your passion, nothing like it. In most problematic situations, would you make your decisions and find solutions based on black, white, or gray areas?
I always have an opinion. I must say that about, I keep watching, I always have an opinion, but I'm never really married to the opinion.
Hmm.
I'm an analyst by heart.
Hmm.
I take data, I create an analysis, more data will come. I will I will refine that analysis.
Hmm.
And even when I'm producing the analysis, I'm aware that in future this can change. So from that point of view, I'm a gray guy because I will mostly I will account for the things that what I know is not perfect and
Hmm.
what other people are saying there might be a merit to it which I have not seen so far. So even if I do not agree with someone, I will allow for that thing that I have not seen that the merit, but it does not mean that merit is not there. And I'm not a very very pushy kind of guy. I'm like more like trying to take people along, even if someone has a very diametrically opposite view. I do not get very upset with that. I try to take it and consider it, even if I don't do anything about it. But there are some aspects where I become very black and white.
Hmm.
And and those aspects are when I start and this also comes from the company I work or like kind of my job profile. Anywhere where I think there is a injustice being done, intentional injustice is being done,
Hmm.
or integrity is broken, or
Right.
trust is being broken, that's where I will become black and white, and that's what I saw in some of my workplace also. If there is a trust issue, there is a dishonesty issue. People will take we will take swift action, even if it means we have to take like a lot of losses in terms of financial or other part.
Hmm.
But otherwise, as long as that trust, injustice, those integrity issues are not there, very open in gray. But as soon as that it comes to trust, injustice, integrity, I quickly move to black and white.
Super.
So in that case, there is no compromise
Hmm.
uh, like uh,
So when it comes to justice, there's no black, there's no gray, but black and white.
yeah, there's no
Otherwise, yeah,
injustice or trust. So
yeah,
if you're broken trust,
right.
say for example, in a corporate term, if you are if you are giving wrong bills,
Hmm.
if you if you are forging your invoices, that's a trust issue. That's at the end, like I cannot trust this guy to give the bills,
Correct.
and
So,
that will be immediately black and white.
correct.
No discussion like this guy is a great performer and we should
Hmm.
keep this guy.
Hmm. Agreed. Cool.
You broke the trust of the company, you have to go.
Right. Have you done any voluntary work, and what was your reason for volunteering?
So I was engaged with one of the NGOs called WOW. This NGO, what it does, it brings women. It's called returnship. It brings women who have gone out of the workforce back into workforce.
Very
So
good.
basically, it identifies those, and there is a lot of initiative going around the returnship. When there are experienced women who have to leave workforce for many reasons, as all of us know. How do we bring them back into the workforce, and how do we uh, like smoothen their return?
Hmm.
And this NGO works on this. And I started with one of my ex-colleague, and I used to volunteer with her. So basically, I used to provide mentorship.
Hmm.
I provided mentorship to these women. So that was a structured one. I also taught into there is a Lovedale Foundation down the Hennur Road, and I also taught in that orphanage for a couple of years around uh, like uh, some time back. What I do a lot, which is not so not so structured, I do a lot of mentoring.
Hmm.
So through my LinkedIn profile and also in my company, we have a mentoring portal. Lot of young executives,
Hmm.
uh, they will reach out, like people who want to get into the same technical area as me, or people have the similar background as me. Like at some point in my life, I had similar background. they want to understand from that place, how did I reach this place. So many people write to me in LinkedIn, in my office mentoring portfolio, and I always try to make time, talk to them on phone, in Webex, in person, what is possible, and mentor them. And that's something which I am very passionate about, talking to these people, because what I have realized is that there are many people out there who do not have access to the right advice.
It's true.
That right advice, that person who has gone through that, have seen that, and who can tell you what is the right thing to do, and what is like probably like you should not do. People are just milking you for some money or something. That right advice, many people do not have access to. And if we can give out 10 or 15 minutes or half an hour, does not matter much. Like I can normally I feed these calls during my like like evening walks or morning walks. I tell them that I'll be walking at that time, call me. While I do my like 1 hour walk, I will finish one discussion. But that makes a hell lot of difference in those people's life. That's what at least I feel. At least even if 5-10%, if it changes their life because they did the right thing, then it's then I feel successful.
No, that's commendable work because I know a lot of people, like you said, don't get the right advice. I know another IBMer who was in IBM from a very small village in Hyderabad and in Andhra Pradesh. And when I asked him how he landed up doing computers in the 80s, in the 1998, 99, his response was he had finished his 10th grade and some person who had come to his school mentioned that he must do computers in a small village in some faraway backward Andhra Pradesh. He didn't even know what computer science was, and he went on to become a brilliant person who was a techie who also taught technology, and all because of a one-line piece of advice that somebody gave him. So mentoring can actually change people's entire lives. So it's not a small thing; it's a commendable thing.
Yeah, and not only advice, sometimes it's also the courage. Like see,
Yes.
so when I came out of my engineering at that time, people will say that like that place is too difficult to get into. You will not be able to get into. Many people think that like they kind of like they will just block out lot of good options because they somehow make the assumption that this is a very difficult place or this is a very difficult career track and I will not be able to do it. And that's for
Right.
very brilliant students. When you talk to them, you give them the confidence that is nothing like that. With some hard work, you can also do that, and I also did that. That makes a hell lot of difference in that person's outlook, and they can start trying for that.
Very true. Very true. The last two questions on our list, and they're slightly more relaxed. Are there any hobbies or interests that you are passionate about?
Oh man, so I think I answered that in the
Anything
in
other
the last
than those? Other than the music and reading.
Music, reading, mentoring. I do a lot of reading now. Unfortunately, it's like mostly technical literature, but I used to read a lot of fiction, non-fiction earlier. Right now, my favorite hobby, and it sounds very geeky. My favorite hobby is coding. So I do code AI applications. I'm very passionate about AI. So even now I keep learning new technologies. Like a few years back, neural network came, CNN came. So like some new technologies came. Now the foundation models have come, large language models have come, and I keep learning about that. And I keep coding, making a small applications, pushing something on the GitHub. So those things. So I'm somewhere inside. I'm a geek. I'm a geek and I'm a developer, and that's my interest and passion.
Yeah, geeks make our life much easier. I'm all for the geeks. Last question, not last question. We have one more after this. What do you like to do for fun?
Very relaxed evening. For my fun is my idea of fun is inactivity with friends and family.
Nice.
So basically like not inactivity. Sometimes like I'll go swimming, play badminton. I'm a member in Accelerate here, but mostly it's a My idea is fun is like sitting down with friends and family, having long coffee break, chatting about general stuff, nothing serious, very general stuff, etc. And that's my idea. Even my idea of holiday is like going to Kerala and staying in those houseboats, because
Splendid.
for that 24 hours, no one can ask you to do anything. You are in that house.
Very good. Very good. Splendid. I like it. I like the idea of, just doing nothing with a bunch of good people. Finally,
Yeah.
before we wrap up, is there anything that you want to say to all the parents at BIS?
So before I say anything to all the parents, let me thank you and your team. I know there is a team behind you who is working
Yes.
on this.
Yes. They work very hard.
Yeah, and you guys are working very hard. It's not very easy to follow up, and you are spending so much time so that the BIS parents can become more informed. They can they can select the right board. So a lot of thanks and lot of kudos to your team.
Thank you so much. You're so welcome.
For the parents, only thing I'll say that this too shall pass. They
Hmm.
have been in a turmoil for last 2-3 months, but in my heart, I think what we are fighting for is a good fight, and BIS is something worth fighting for. So if many parents are thinking that let's go to another school, and that's the easiest thing to do,
Hmm.
but like BIS is a very, very beautiful thing. It has happened to all of us, and I'm sure that all these things will be something a thing of past. We will talk about it. Maybe in few months we will also like joke about it, satire about it.
Hmm.
But we will bring BIS. BIS it's not we will bring. BIS is much bigger than me, you, and anyone.
Correct.
BIS is such a strong asset, such a strong community. It has been around for so many years that BIS will heal itself. BIS will bring itself back to a place
Hmm.
where no, where we used to feel all very happy and we do not have this turmoil. So I'll just ask all the parents to keep the faith, believe this too shall pass, and believe that this is something which something worth fighting for, and we are fighting that, and we will ensure that all of us get back that BIS of yesteryears.
On that very optimistic note, I'd like to thank you so much for your time. Thank you for spending this much time and just talking to us and giving us all your various opinions. All the very best, Sanjay. I hope you make it to the board. You've been part of the IB5. You know, we've already elected you once. I'm sure most of us will vote for you. All the very best, and thank you very much.
Thanks a lot, Bindu. Have a good day.
You too.